What's going on, guys? Maverick Mark here, and I'm bringing you some more Division 2 content. Today's video is going to be a new series that I'm starting called How to Heroic. The very first mission is going to be Lincoln Memorial because it's by far one of the best farms out there for whatever loot is available. So jumping right in to the very first area, you want to run all the way to the end of the map. Do not let the enemies come out too far and spread out. I'm going to recommend two builds for basically the entire mission. A status effect build and a straight all-out weapon DPS build. As much damage as you can do. I heavily recommend both an AR and an LMG. Mostly because the AR is designed to take down red bars, the LMG is designed for long sustained firefights. Basically, with most of these areas, you're going to pin them down inside of the entranceway from which they come from. Every one of these little set pieces from when you start moving from point A to point B on the map are basically a series of exfils onto the map from random doorways. A good thing to learn is where they come from and when they come from that entranceway. Alright, the very first piece of the map, you're going to run straight down and you're going to do your best to tank them inside of the actual Lincoln Memorial itself because they come from a doorway at the back left. Once you get through the first area, moving into the second area, you'll see that they basically are wandering there in front of you. You want to wait for your status effect build character to make sure, you want to keep them set on fire. So wait on him, let him post up, let him get his fire out, make sure everybody's set on fire, and then you start rolling on them. Once you get the fire spreading from character to character, you want to keep up that fire, but you also want to close the gap and make sure you're downing them before the fire runs out. Basically, once one group goes down, the next group should start coming out already set on fire. At that point, you can move in, close the gap, and basically just eradicate them as they come out of their hiding holes. Moving into the third area, I recommend that 3 guys go through the bottom and 1 guy go up top. The guy that goes up top wants to run all the way down to the end of the map, and the other 3 guys will take out the initial wave that's already wandering around the bottom. Once the next one comes out, the guys are going to... The next entranceway is all the way at the very back. There's 2 doors, and they'll start pouring through those 2 doors. It's very easy to get them set on fire. The guy that went up top should have a clear advantage point to take down anybody and everybody. I do heavily recommend the Demolisher Firefly at this point because you can actually break the big guys, regardless if he's a boss or not. You can break his book bag full of bombs. Once you break his backpack, he goes down like potatoes. Moving into the next area, it's basically just rinse and repeat. Memorize where the guys come into the map at which points. That's all you have to do. Moving into the next area, you want to go through the entire level, racking up all that loot. There's several loot boxes. All you got to do is remember where the little yellow control panel is. Shoot the control panel, loot the stuff, move on. All right. You're going to get into an area that is basically a mock-up firefight room, basically a close quarters combat room. You want 1 guy to run all the way to the end like you did in one of the previous areas. And once you get people set on fire, all the enemies are going to come from the left side of the room. There are 2 doorways that basically you can just focus fire as they come out and just annihilate them once they're set on fire. When you move into the next room, you're going to be on a scaffolding above the enemy. Set those guys on fire, but go on ahead and get set up for the two next waves coming through the doors on the right. Pay close attention though, because if you stack too far right, the enemy will come through a door on the far left wall. All right. As long as you don't push too far right on the scaffolding, it's just simple. Let them come out the door, set them on fire, kill them, move on. The boss area is next, and the boss area is no different from the previous area. All you have to do is your initial burst, set them on fire. You'll see 5 guys basically just standing there. Set them on fire, kill them. All right. At this point, you can have a couple of guys run all the way to the end of the room, because there's a door at the very back right where all the enemies come out. When they start coming out, all you need to do is set them on fire and kill them. Rinse and repeat. There will be 3 waves right there, with the 3rd wave coming from above you from a scaffolding. Once you get done with the 3rd set of enemies and the boss wave comes out from that scaffolding, you can get set up. I like to hit them really hard with our special weapons. If you do it correctly, a couple of guys should be rocking the grenade launchers. You can hammer them down right there. Hit the boss with a demolisher drone. His backpack will break, causing him to be stunned for about maybe 4 or 5 seconds. At that point, all your DPS just lays into him and he should just die. All right. All in all, it takes around about, I think the time for my video is about 9 minutes and something. We had a couple of passes at this where we just completely annihilated the enemy. I mean, it gets to that point where once you cycle through it a couple of times, you get the hang of where the enemy's coming from. Kind of, you set a pace, and once you set that pace, you just move through it. It really is that simple. Now, all heroics are not this simple, and they sure do not give you as much loot as this mission. So I encourage you every single day, log on, check this mission, because there's just tons and tons of loot. You get multiple loot boxes, and there's so many bosses that you're almost guaranteed at least some kind of upgrade. Maybe not every run, but if you get in with a good group and you can just cycle through these missions in 9 minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, guys, 6 times an hour will ultimately net you like 40 or 50 pieces of loot. I mean, guys, you cannot beat that farm. But anyway, guys, I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, hit that like button. Like I said, I'm going to try to get every single mission out here, just like this, trying to show you exactly how fast these missions can be done. Anyway, guys, I'm out, and as always, stay clean.